Hey guys, happy Monday. Monday. I'm coming on today at this time because these last days I've been trying to make a video at night. I've been conking out. I thought I was getting out of lethargia. I call it lethargia. It's a place of being. But I've been sitting there in this lethargic standpoint, and I've realized that maybe it's the world showing me that I gotta take it back a beat. I gotta slow down. I gotta process. And in that time of process, I would say that ever since the solar eclipse, a lot of things have been eclipsing out of my life, and more so as time went on. And maybe this has been happening for you guys. I've been feeling these feelings for the last month or so that resemble something like a breakup. And I couldn't really put my finger on it, you know what I mean? I was like, why do I feel like I'm experiencing a breakup, yet I'm not with anyone? And I had to really think about where those feelings were coming from. And I realized it was coming from the world around me. The world around me was showing me something intrinsic that was right in front of my face. And I needed to come to that reality. And the reality of it was that this breakup feeling I was having was correct because I was actually coming to a breakthrough. And sometimes breakthroughs can seem like towers, yet breakthroughs are a little differently designed, like I've said. They feel like breakups. Why do they feel like breakups? Because in your heart of hearts, you know it's coming. You feel it right in the gut. You feel like something's upon you. And with that knowingness, you realize that it's going to be rough. It's going to be hard. It's going to hurt, much like a breakup. Because why do breakups hurt? Because you're changing again. You're shifting again. You're going somewhere different. You're going to be single once more. And you're going to have to move into a different way of being. You honestly know it's for the best. Because most breakups, you realize at the end of these relationships that you couldn't take those relationships any further. And within that reality of self, you grow. And I don't think that I was being put on a lethargic path these last weeks as a fluke. It was so that I could really take a look at everything that I'm being presented. And what if I've been presented, much like you guys may know, and maybe you guys are experiencing this too. If you are going through a breakthrough, sometimes a breakthrough can come in the most subtle ways. And for me, it was realizing that this last year or so, all I've known deep down in my heart is that I wanted to share God's word. I wanted to share myself. I wanted to share positivity. I wanted to really try to uplift others around me. And so I started on this social platform designation. Never been on a social platform I did make some videos 12, 13 years ago, but it was really at that time just to be online to reach out to anyone. When I started on this channel again, it was for the same reason. I was going through one of the darkest nights of my soul to date. And as I came through that dark night of the soul and I moved forward and I shared myself and I shared my life with you guys, I realized that I really liked being a champion and a cheerleader for God and for what we're going through on this ascension journey. But the breakthrough that I think I'm facing is that almost everything that I've wanted has been weighing me down. And the reason why it's weighing me down is because I've put it in a category of impossible. What was impossible for us? What's been impossible for me? At least up until this point. Out of 8 billion people, I've only reached out to 103 of you. On my other presence, on my other Facebook, on my Instagram, it's been moving, slowly moving, but still moving. But the reality is that it isn't reaching as many as I would like. And I think that pressure that I put on myself to get out to you guys has really weighed me down. Some other things that I feel like have weighed me down, or the impossibilities or the impossible dream that I've set forth in front of myself. For those of you that have watched, you know that I've been really wanting soul family I've been really wanting a partner in my life simply because that's the normal thing. Everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to have someone that loves them. And for any of you that know anything about manifestation, when you are doing these daydreams, these meditations, these visualizations, you kind of need a basis for that manifestation, like something that you've seen or something that you can actually put emotion behind. And for myself, because I've never experienced these things, like I've never experienced a lot of people seeing me. I've never experienced someone caring for me or standing up for me or backing me up. I've never experienced a group of people that actually endorse me and love me unconditionally. So I realized in these last weeks that perhaps I've put all of these things into what I would call the impossible dream. And a lot of us out there have what we qualify as these impossible dreams. And the reason why we may feel that they're impossible is because they tend to be crafted around things that are hard and unattainable as you step into your I am self or your I am presence. Why? Because it hasn't fully evolved yet. We haven't stepped into that reality. We haven't taken all of our power into consideration. Like, I feel like as I've gone through this journey, much like you guys, I keep growing in my power and in my presence. So to request and ask for certain things that haven't formulated, the world is showing me that the way I'm looking at this is incorrect. I put all this pressure on these things, and yet they have not manifested. So this idea of the impossible dream is what is standing in my way. And much like a breakthrough, you have to realize that it is like a breakup, because I have to break up with my impossible dream. I have to realize that I have to practice the law of detachment. The law of detachment is where you don't put pressure on the outcome, and you realize that the outcome does not represent who you are in the I am state. So, in these last years, if not for many of my years, I've always wondered if there was someone out there for me. I've had to really morph and mold for most of my relationships just to even be in a relationship. I've never been able to just be myself in a relationship and be accepted. So as I made that part of my impossible dream, and I haven't even stepped into my full I am presence, much like you guys, I imagine, hindering myself with these ideas is what needs to be broken up. I think in this time of lethargicism, whatever way you want to put it, but composed defragmentation is what I like to call it. You get defragged. It's like you start to break down everything that is what make you up. And in that defragging, you realize certain truths. And for myself, I realized my ultimate goal is to be seen and reached. And yet, as I try to do this, it hasn't panned out. And I asked myself, I'm like, could I morph? Could I mold again? Could I just put out the same word over and over and over again to build that niche, to build those numbers, to get what I think is the impossible dream of what I want? But the reality is, as I step into the I am state that I am, and knowing thyself, I realized that I spent so long fighting to get out of a box, to get out of a veil, to get out of a mask, that to say to myself, hey, let's put one on again, that was the real truth that I was willing to face. And I think for those of us out there, some of us are in that place where we need to really take a look at what the world is presenting us, because that's where the real truth is. I'm not saying that the world represents who you are truly, but energetically, if you're seeing a disconnect in everything that you want to achieve, one thing or another is happening. Either what you want to achieve is not really what you, as the I am, really wants, and you'll get to those blockades because it isn't the truth. And if it's not that, it's because you're just not seeing the real direction of what you are truly after. So as these weeks have summed up for me, and maybe this has happened for yourselves, I've realized that all the things that I want are still true. I want to reach out to people. I still want to bring the word to those of you out there that wish to hear it. And I want to bring my style of healing to the world as much as I can. So I thought about something that one of my clients said last week. And she said to me, she was like, Ashley, she's like, I've watched you grow this last year. And she's like, you're somebody that needs to be experienced and not just seen. So that really sat with me because I have had these blockades come up on the social scene. I have had the blockades come up when it comes to wanting and aspiring for relationships or soul family. And when she said this to me, I realized that like maybe my mode of thinking or my way of directing my energy has been what's false. Thinking something's impossible is defeating in itself. Feels like a fantasy. Feels like a pipe dream. It feels like something that most would say is a negative outlook on the impossible. And that word impossible is what hangs us up sometimes. Because as I truly understand myself, I realize that that's what has hindered me all along. Wanting and holding on to these ideas. And every couple of, let's say, months to several years, as you go along this ascension journey, it's like you get to do a review and see what things you want to take with you and what things you want to leave behind. So for now, I feel like I want to release and let go of this impossible dream. And you have to understand that I spent a lot of time asking my higher and God, why are the things that I want so badly, so simply, are found by others? And the Lord said back to me, and this was God's message. God said that the reason is because you are the I am possible dream. And I said to myself, the I am possible dream? I'm like, really? I'm like, if that's the case, then why am I in the situation I'm in? And the Lord said back to me, have you not done the impossible? And I said back, yeah, I have. I've broken out of every single facet of the 3D matrix that one could possibly break out of. I've said goodbye to friends, family, career, a life plan. I've literally had to stare at the barrel of nothingness and solidarity. I've had to say goodbye to my twin. I've had to realize that even one that is, especially crafted for oneself, still has the right and wish to move in whatever direction they want. And all of these things that I had to engage with and realize have been tremendously hard and have pushed down my self-esteem. And as I was going through that process in my mind with God, God said back to me, you have done the impossible. You have done everything that you felt like it could not be done, at least when you started on this journey. And I said to myself, you know what? God's right. I have done things that I never thought I could do. So in that moment, my impossible dream, for once, felt possible. It wasn't the impossible dream I wanted. It was the I am possible dream that I was after. And What that means is that as I morph or move or grow into this I am state of being, of myself, as all of you are being asked to do as well, you'll realize, as I am realizing at this moment, that we are the I am possible dreams. I was basing my wishes and wants on a 3D perspective, never allowing the abundance and the ever expanding growth of the spirit. I wanted things that my 3D self previously wanted, which was the family, the soul group, the everlasting love. And the thing is that I haven't even reached my I am state. Those things are part of the I am possible dream. Because once I reach the embodied self that we're all after, that we're all going to walk into in this lifetime, those wants may fall away and shape into something totally different as we go through the flow state of God's presence all around us all the time. I haven't been able to plan anything. I haven't been able to really force a success. And it's because it's directly in opposition of who I am. So do I embrace who I am? Or do I fall back into the 3D crux? Do I shape myself? Do I mold myself once again for an agenda that isn't really true? I am possibly exactly where I need to be. I am possibly in the flow state of what I am looking for truly, which hasn't even been perceived or even realized. And that's where the breakthrough comes. We are no longer just searching out for the things that the 3D self wants. We're in a state of ever moving growth. And as we transform, the I am possible dream is cultivated. Our subconscious, our higher leveled selves know that our 3D version of self and the dream associated with it may not be the I am possible dream. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. I'll probably come on tonight if I can, or maybe tomorrow. But God said, don't live the impossible. Be the I am possible dream. Do what you do. Don't expect. Detach. Realize that the I am possible dream is solely going to arrive because you've done the impossible. I leave you with that message. If you do like what I'm saying, please like, please share, please subscribe. I am possibly going to morph and change once again, and you guys will be there with me. Love you lots.